Ladies and gentlemen, this is Courageous Mike on the Courageous Podcast. I am here with my brother. Um, I know we're pro-black all the time, but my brother is over here is kind of mixed race and stuff. I could take a look at him. Adrian, aka Requiem. We're gonna have a whole conversation about the whole alpha, beta, delta, sigma, omega concept, and have our own discussion. Y'all tune in. Y'all just tell me what y'all think. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and definitely comment on what y'all think. Here we go. All right. I just want to. It's crazy today. The whole alpha and the beta thing is used all the time in society, and we encouraged by all these groups, Fresh and Fit, and other podcasts with follows Kevin Samuels bases and stuff, and it's crazy because we believe in it so much, and we follow it so much, but they introduced the whole alpha and the beta concept, but they also know that there is other concepts besides the alpha and the beta concept. Is the alpha, beta, gamma, omega, and the sigma, and they don't say that about those. It's like, well, if you don't fit these qualities, if you this is real, if you said it, you too sensitive, you're a beta. But what about all these other concepts, these other traits? Where are they at? Where are they present at through all these antagonizing statements and these whole educational serums and stuff about how not to be a beta and stuff? What about how not to be a mega, gamma, or delta, sigma? Are these okay to be? A sigma is okay to be, or is it also shunned upon alpha is the only one to follow? Because as being as intellectual people like us, we know that these things are just very imaginative and made up by the human stereotypic, because we know that Robert West, the creator of these concepts, by observing wolves out there and out live in the wilderness, and came up with this study and put this out there in the world about the alpha wolf, was incorrect, and he shortly afterwards went out there to tell people about, hey, I was incorrect. This alpha and wolf wasn't correct, and I was confused with a family of wolves, and it was a female, not a male, so it was totally non-right, but it ended up taking off otherwise, and people start putting this delta and omega and gammas and sigmas along with it. So, which I do, try to encourage, because these are things to, just like a zodiac sign, to help to keep us in our lane and stuff, to keep us thinking about things that we do as human beings to keep ourselves online. Because these type of things, even though we try to get them from animals, which they don't have them, and then because we find out that the more compassionate male animal of every group gets more females, as well as get the more bondage of his peers, as other males, as not the alpha who pushes itself around and bosses itself around, which it's crazy because we kind of put that into an alpha mentality, but it's kind of a mega thing. We'll get into that a lot more later on, but I want to get your view about this.
Well, first thing that Wes messed up on was comparing primates to canines.
True.
You want to compare primates to other primates, like gorillas, gibbons, baboons, chimpanzees, this kind of stuff. The silverback isn't always the strongest, he's the smartest. And that's pretty much the oldest gorilla for everybody who doesn't know. But I think the only one that really has a negative connotation is beta because betas are technically seen as followers. They follow the crowd. They're commonly seen around the alphas, trying to bask in the alphas' so-called glory, I guess. And they're more the take what they can get guy rather than take what they can guy.
Right.
It's usually the beta. I don't know, in high school. When I was going to high school, the betas, they would, the cheerleader or whatever would break up with the alpha, and then the closest beta to the alpha would end up getting a date because she was pissed off at the alpha. I mean, that's kind of the trend. If you're a beta who sticks with alphas, they're trying to get some of that alpha to rub off on them, but it doesn't work because they're psychologically not programmed for that. That's not to say a beta can't turn into an alpha, but it takes a whole psychological rework. Because you've got to deprogram yourself from everything you were told and what society tells you, and then you have to reprogram yourself. It takes a lot of self-control, a lot of willpower, a lot of sacrifice to push yourself into that, and it's not necessarily a physical or just a mental or just an emotional mindset. It's converting all three of those into transforming yourself into an alpha or an omega or sigma or deltas. I mean, they're party boys. Deltas and gammas. Gamma's the traditional frat boy. He just doesn't give a fuck, and that's just the way he is. But
A valid point about the Delta. I'm glad you brought it up because it's about go along, be along. Where we came along with I find out and looked up and did some research about all these traits of these male traits of these hierarchies, and I found out that the most defining trait of each hierarchy is alpha is the dominant, sigma is the subservient, the delta is
sigma's not the subservient, beta's the
I mean, I'm sorry, yeah. The beta is the subservient, the delta is the common, the gamma is
frat boy.
It's not orthodox.
The eternal party boy. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, but that's a word that I got for each one. I know the mega is the outcast, or the defiant one. The omega is the defiant one. The sigma is the unorthodox. And then what was the gamma was the
Gamma's the party boy.
what's the party boy?
Adventurous. That's probably the best word for a gamma is adventurous.
I think I had that unorthodox, but no, I think I sigma as orthodox. But we'll get back to it. We'll find where it is. But it's funny because delta is common. So we have more delta in the world than we have anything of every group, because delta is, like I said, common. We built the world up on delta, the guys who go along, get along. So
go with the flow, guys.
Yeah. So if they're the ones that go along with the flow and stuff, why are we calling the deltas the ones that go along with the flow? Why we call the betas the ones that go along with the flow if the deltas the one that actually goes along with the flow? So what is it about the deltas and the betas that differ from each other that makes them, hey, this one's not subservient and the other one's not subservient, or what? Or is it a common thing among these people and it can be misconstrued because there's no real defiant qualities of these hierarchies that makes up male?
Well, when you're talking about delta males, that is essentially just your average everyday job. A beta, nothing really stands out about a delta. They're just average, everyday. I guess if you compare them to like bees, it's like the drones. All the drones, pretty much, they all fit into the same group. They all do the same. Nothing stands out. Nothing really unique. Okay. Alpha, their narcissism is what stands them out, right? They somehow make their narcissism seem charming, at least for a short while until you get tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's what makes them stand out. Sigmas are like, they're the social chameleon. They know how to fit into group. They can read pretty much any room, figure out the best way to either cause the most problems or stay out of the problems. You know. Gamma's the infinite party boy. Omega is the, one guy off in the distance that can be pretty creepy sometimes. And, I mean, betas stand out because they're so willing to just provide, and not get anything in return. They're all, the beta, they're always trying to get validation from something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deltas, they're not really trying to get validation. They're just trying to go about their business and, try to just make it, There's no real drive. They're just comfortable doing what they're doing, right? That's what really separates betas and deltas for the most part. Like, betas have drive, but it's that drive to get validation from something else or someone else.
Well, delta would just give up.
They don't give up. They just
Clueless.
I think they're just average. There's nothing, at least a beta can be not average at something, They're not average at sipping, I guess.
So she say if you were it's hypothetical, like none of us are females, nothing like that. If you say if you're a female going to a house party or something, you spot a beta and a delta together, what traits would you describe to give that would turn these type of women off? What type of trait? How would you think they would act towards a woman or not act towards a woman, and what would it be to turn them off or not to this term? Because we know these two of the traits are not the most glorious to women. He's not the most attractive to women because the alpha is the alpha, but the sigma managed to do the same thing to oppose, to look like the alpha. But it's not the fact that people say, oh, that's a sigma, I want to go out. No, it's the fact that the sigma is like a more advanced alpha, so chicks see them as alpha and find that there's more to them than that. But what makes it, the delta
the delta and sigma thing. So
the beta. This is the beta and the delta, because we already know what's the difference between all the other ones and stuff.
So the beta is more willing to just give a female attention. They're more willing to just. It's kind of sickening how much that oozing of attention goes out. But betas can they can be one of two extremes. They can either be like they're giving attention, or they're giving attention to the point of being creepy. You know what I mean? And for a big turnoff with betas is that, at least from some of the conversations I've had with other women, is that if the guy comes off too needy, then it's just it's like rubbing a cat the wrong way. It doesn't work. That people want to feel needed in a natural manner. They don't want to feel like they're being fetishized, or because that's essentially what the creepy beta does when they act all needy and stuff. They're fetishizing the attention of the female because they don't get it a lot. And so it's kind of like when you have a starving man on a beach, right? And you put this big old feast in front of him. He wants to eat the big old feast, right? But if he does that, he's going to kill himself because his body is going to go into shock. Because you can only eat little bits at a time because your stomach's been starving for so long. It shrinks. So if you try to gorge yourself to the point, you're going to either make yourself sick or have serious complications. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So and betas, they tend to try to gorge themselves on that attention because they don't get it often. Deltas, I'm trying to come about this without. See, a majority of a majority of males in the U.S. make between $30,000 and $50,000 a year, right? Okay. And most of the deltas make up those $30,000 to $50,000 a year people, right? So your average guy who works at a Walmart, and then you have your average girl that works at a Walmart. Okay, those two hook up, right? They just hooked up because circumstance put them together, right? And they just had enough stuff that clicked. Nothing really stood out about either one of them. It was just that need for interaction, basically. Deltas, like I said, they go with whatever works.
All right, so let me use a good analogy of, if you were to a club and you had a party and stuff, and you were at like a house party and you spot adults in a beta. The beta would be the person who's just sitting out there trying to figure out what it is that women like and try to get their attention and draw them there. But a delta is a person that's one just like be all clueless about what's going on and pretty much accidentally bump in with the female and just let whatever happens and pretty much be clueless about all the thing. And if things happen, it'd be just the fact that the woman just overread into it and found something that she thinks that's worthwhile, not the fact that he said anything that was worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's
Delta relationships seem to be more circumstantial than anything else.
All right. So my idea of an omega, I did my studies at omega. Omega is like, it's kind of like an alpha. I think people most get confused with alphas with omegas because we have this whole bad boy attitude out there. Don't give a fuck about women and do your own thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I get from omega. Omega is like, I want the attention. Y'all bitches have all the attention. Y'all females have all the attention. I want the attention. I'm a prize catch. I don't care if I'm fat. I don't care if I'm skinny or what. I'm just gonna get, hey, if a chick's holler at me, I'm gonna play my cards right and get her to holler at me. Once you holler at me, I'm just on a, I'm a guy who just sits around and sits inside the place sucking up all the oxygen, giving all the money. That's how the gamma, the omega works. They're the ones who just love the attention and stuff like that. And
That
from my readings, is that what you get from Omega, or is you get different else from Omega?
No, the technical definition of Omega is somebody who's just opted out of society. They've literally just given up on society. So they follow their own rules and everything, right? But they've completely opted out of most of societal interaction, anyways. They don't really try, to be honest.
Well, from gathering information, the Sigmas are the ones that cast themselves away from society.
No,
Omegas just don't go by the rules of society.
There's a difference of taking yourself out of a game and playing your own game versus giving up on the game entirely. So, like, so this is from Macmillan Dictionary. Omega male is a man who chooses not to have a powerful or important role in a social or professional situation. While the alpha male wants to dominate and the beta male just wants to get by, the omega male has either opted out or, if he used to try, given up. So, basically, he's like the classic anti-disestablishment person, the anti-establishment person. Like, I want to say it's this whole holier than thou attitude of I'm too good to take the powerful position.
Could be confused as a bad boy.
It could be.
Which can be confused as an alpha sometimes.
No, because alphas like to be empowered. They like to be in control.
No.
Okay.
I know, like,
Omegas choose not to be in the position of control. I think it's more psychologically detrimental. It's like the difference between an optimist and a pessimist. Or
alpha would join the football team, but Omega would
just
be
not
able to join the football team. Maybe people want him to join, but like say, you know what, fuck this, I don't need this. I'm able to be on the football team. Fuck the football team. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Honestly,
end up becoming
Omegas
looking like a Delta.
They can be positive because they choose to just opt out of everything, pretty much. But more often than not, an Omega is not necessarily a lot of positive personality traits. It's more negative personality traits than positive. They've pretty much just given up on life in general, essentially. Like, you go to the party, but you don't do anything while you're there, right? You don't try to enjoy yourself. You don't go try to play pool or anything like that. You're just... It kind of gives off this whole, I'm too good to do anything with anybody here.
So you saw at the party, the Omega would be the person who just standing right there, just in the wall,
pretty much doing nothing.
Not doing nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So the Delta will be trying to impress the females by simping to them and heeding to their kindness, and what the Delta male would just be also standing there doing nothing.
No, Delta male, they'll talk,
serving up the drinks or something, just try to find something to do.
Delta males, they'll talk, but they're not going to be like the life of the party. They're not going to have like everybody surrounding them and everything, right? So, it's Delta males kind of lack that natural magnetism. You know what I mean? That somebody like a Sigma or an Alpha has. Gamma has that magnetism because they're just the eternal frat boy. Pop open a freaking beer keg or bring the freaking beer keg and you're the life of the party. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's an essential gamma male. So with deltas, they're more just They're not going to have anything that stands out. They're going to be there. They may have something interesting to say, but they're not going to keep the attention. You know?
All right. So, the Delta, the Gamma, the Omega, Sigma. See them at the group where they're not gonna be right there inside the house. They're gonna be standing outside, standing next to something that's try to go upstairs, try to do something that's not in an ordinary. What would a Sigma do at how how would you spot a Sigma at a house party?
Best way I can say it is guy with a drink, maybe smoking a cigar or a pipe, right? Playing pool at the pool table.
So he's finding things to do to start his own little fun away from the party.
Yeah, he's not worried about what's going on over there, what the alpha's doing over there, right? He's just trying to enjoy himself. You know, make his life more comfortable in the area. You know, the thing about Sigmas is they're like the chronic introvert. It can feel awkward when you're in a group. Kind of a little bit of social anxiety. I mean, you get over it really quickly, but at first, that social anxiety is just your brain telling you watch the room, see what everybody's doing. Oh, that's just my text messages. It's just watch the room. You know, it's your brain telling you just stay in yellow mode, basically. You know, not green, not red, just stay in yellow. You know. Keep an eye on everything, read where the conversations are going, be aware, basically.
All right.
Alphas, they can lose themselves in the attention they're getting, you know, because they're just like, oh, I'm doing this, and, you know, this, and this, you know. But a Sigma, he's gonna be trying to do his own thing, really. Not in the way the Omega is. He's gonna actually be actively doing his own thing.
Alright, so you said about the Sigma males over there doing his own thing. He's trying to start his own tish to leave himself.
Where the Omega is passive,
at
the Sigma is proactive.
Alright, so you're gonna at a party you're gonna confuse maybe the Omega and the Gamma male, because they're both gonna be doing their own thing, but what separates
the Omega and the Sigma. Gamma is not part of that. The Omega and the Sigma. You couldn't mistake both of them for each other.
Oh, why we mistake the Omega and the Sigma for each other?
The Gamma is the party boy, so he's already going to be popular just because he's a party boy.
Oh, so what you think the Gamma is going to be a person who's trying out new things, taking drinks and wilding out?
One of the defining thing of Gamma is they're just adventurous. They're the one who's trying to start the party. They're trying to keep the party going. That kind of stuff.
All right.
Sigmas and Omegas, they're kind of like two sides of a different coin. Omega's the passive side. Sigma's the proactive side. You get what I'm saying?
All right. So
they don't follow the crowd, but one's trying to see how he can make the crowd work for him, while the other one's just like taking himself out of the equation.
All right. So what you say the one to make the crowd work for him is
that's
Sigma.
That's Sigma.
So he's finding new types of activities to do at the party.
Yeah.
To make the party more crunk and kind of make the party what he wants, while the Delta is or the Gamma, we said the Gamma would just be sitting right there and just soaking in everything.
I mean, The gamma's getting lost in the whole party.
Oh, what did we say?
The omega.
I mean, the omega would be. I'm sorry.
The omega's the omega's the
would
one.
just try to make the party crunk and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's just the hype man. So you can think of the gamma guy as the hype man. That's gamma. He's just the hype man.
All right. And then omega would be the person just sitting right there, just
not doing shit,
and just not the life of the party.
Nah, he's just
the log in the pond and stuff.
Yeah, he's.
And then the alpha.
Some might find that attractive, but not many.
Yeah. They all get played too. You know, I just know that despite any one of these statistics show the alpha is the one who pulls, the most mates. And of course, the alpha is always the alpha. It's going to pull out the most mates naturally. But that doesn't say that these other types of hierarchy of male doesn't get the mate, because keep in mind that these things are concepts that don't truly exist, but they do. We as human beings are very powerful in our thoughts, not reasoning. So what we create to be, that's what it is. So when we study these things about these animals and say, hey, well, we got this study of it and what find out not to be it, and then but we got popular and we say, hey, this is gonna be it, it's gonna be it, because that's what we make it into. But doesn't make it right, doesn't make it accurate, no, but we just want to do it anyways because this is what we built to make it more understanding for us and stuff like that. So we're gonna go along, we'll go with the flow and stuff and go with what's popular. So the alpha is the most popular and the most well distinguished among all these tiers of hierarchy. So
the alpha is basically, they're the ones who started the party to begin with, right? They're the one who invited everybody. They were just like, and that was the place to be. So
they don't have to fucking work for women's number. They just sit right there and hey, and they just, the women to holler at them because they have to come to them because they want to start the party. They don't want to have all this now. They have the mustard. They're the start of the football team and all this stuff like that. So
commonly you associate jocks with alphas.
All right, so how would they act around the party? Would it be acting like a beta, try to get all the attention? Would it act like a sigma who takes the attention away and tries to own stuff and within the party to make everybody interested inside of it? Or what? Do you have their own little thing the way that the alpha does it? I can tell you as I would consider myself as an alpha, but these things don't really add up when you really think about the non-stereotypic male. And stuff. The ones that stick out, despite other traits and stuff like that. So, but in those things, we always keep in mind these things are just made up and popularized. These doesn't really exist and stuff. But we try to make these things exist somewhat to our fabrication of our mind. So just say what an alpha male.
A lot of times you'll see the alpha male. They'll be trying to funnel their way into crowds of women. Usually, they're successful at it because they just have that natural appeal.
So say you're not an alpha male that started a party. You're just an alpha male that got there at the party.
Well, alpha males group up together. So alpha males stick with other alpha males, or alpha males and sigma males coincide together.
So you say that if you were at the party, you're the one that's trying to break through the crowd with a group of other males, and then disperse after you got all the attention. Disperse and let the women come to you after all that positiveness. Or
not necessarily like
that you just gathered up and stuff like that.
Like alpha males, they'll often interject themselves into a dance or something like that,
So they're aggressive. Go to, hey baby, you want to dance and stuff like that. They'll go out there and put themselves on the line.
They'll put themselves out there quite a bit. Whereas this varies from the sigma, which the sigma is doing his own thing, and by doing his own thing, he attracts attention.
And what would you say?
Because this is the psychology behind that. Okay. everybody over here is dancing, you know, doing all this, and you're over at the pool table just shooting pool.
As an alpha?
No.
As a what?
Sigma.
As a sigma.
The Sigma's over here just shooting pool. Why is he just shooting pool? Why isn't he over here dancing and everything? The appeal is that what is making that pool table so interesting to him that he's not engaging with everyone else? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, we're at this club. You know, the Sigma is over there draining the holes in that pool table, and you know, getting attention about making this one little thing and stuff, displaying his skills in this inside the club. You know, and the alpha would be the person who started the club or came there with a group of guys who just draw the attention and, you know, bravely go ask these people out to dance and stuff.
It's like the alpha will go up to the bar, and the Sigma's over there playing the pool table. You know what I mean? So like, when I go out to a like say a bar or something, there's a pool table. I always migrate to the pool table because I just enjoy pool. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something it just keeps me occupied, and it takes away my social anxiety also because it's easier because I'm focused on the pool. It makes it easier for me to talk to people. So see, with the alpha, the spotlight's always on you, right? The Sigma, they may not necessarily be comfortable with the spotlight until they have a focus point. If they have a focus point, the spotlight isn't even there.
So like they make their own spotlight in the shadows, pretty much. They sit out in the corner, you know, drain these holes, and you know, the light of the spotlight might be the party and stuff that's going on. But they in the shadows playing.
They got their own little party going on.
And there's no, you know, people dancing and music and stuff. Or they even listen to music. They over here, people just gather their attention to the pool table and stuff and drain this hole. All right, and then I guess as Delta would just be standing right there, just.
Delta's just schmoozing. He's just schmoozing in the party. So
and the Mega would take himself out of the party, go to maybe take himself outside, take a smoke, maybe go over to you know, the corner of something, or
Omega's usually the most depressing guy at a party. I'm just gonna put that out there.
The Gamma would be the person who's taking the drinks and
he's the fun guy at the party. He's the wild guy. Like the guy who literally chugs like 3 beers and then jumps in the pool.
Go.
He chugs like 3 beers and then jumps in the pool with a cannonball.
All right, and then the Delta be the person like, hey baby, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? You know, you're so beautiful. You're so gorgeous. It's good at the party.
That's going into beta stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a Delta. That's what I mean. Beta. The Beta would be the person.
Beta's
the
trying.
Delta would be the person that's standing right there. So the Beta be over there trying to.
There's a thing my uncle told me. Once. Beta leaves the bar broke. Beta leaves the bar broke. This is why. He's using those drinks to try to net attention. Really, honestly, the last kind of attention you want is the attention of a drunk female. Because you never know how she's going to react in the morning.
Alright.
Okay. She might like you once she's had all those drinks, but then she wakes up the next morning and just like, what the heck did I do? So that's